Greetings, my name is Charles McCaul again with Mentoring Growing Leaders, and we're on a short series called Relationships 101, and we're looking at this small booklet by John Maxwell titled Relationships 101. And in this booklet there's 8 short chapters, and I'm going to be summarizing each one of those chapters, and we're in chapter number 4, lesson number 4, chapter number 4 on Relationships 101. What every leader needs to know about relationships. But this is not just for leaders. This is for all of us normal people as well, regular people. It's great keys in this short booklet to help us build relationships, connect people, and see what can develop in those kind of relationships. So it's very important, and I hope that this is helpful to you. It's certainly been helpful to me just reading this book again and putting together the PowerPoint slides and sharing it with you has benefited me personally immensely, and I hope it benefits you. And if it does, I'd like to ask that you subscribe to this channel. Click the subscribe button and click the like button and click the bell button so that you will be notified the next time that I upload videos. And if it's helpful to you, if these videos or any of my videos are helpful to you, please be sure and share them with others as well. And so this is lesson number 4, chapter number 4, and it's titled, How Can I Connect with People? Very important question. And you know, for me personally, I'm an introvert. If I have the opportunity to be alone, I will choose to be alone. I will be quiet. I really don't talk very much. You see me on YouTube, and you see me giving lectures and preaching and talks and on stage and platform and things like that. Well, that's another side to me, but my very true nature is to be quiet and to be by myself. But because the Lord has put me in a position over all of these years, I've had to learn to change. I've had to develop some skills, and I've had to do some things that I'm uncomfortable with because I believe in people, and I believe that there's something inside of me that will be able to benefit other people. And I didn't always believe that. Believe me, I came from a small farming community. My father died when I was 10 years old, and I didn't do well in high school. I was average, maybe not even average. But over the years, especially as I've came to know the Lord, and I began to see that every person is created with a potential. Every person has value, and every person is created with potential. And every person has a calling and a purpose and a mission from God on this earth during their lifetime. I believe that. And so as I began to understand that, it changed my thinking, it built my confidence in myself, and I began to see things in me that I had not seen before. And that's what I believe about you, and I'm trying to help change your thinking so that you believe that about other people. I believe that there's something on the inside of you that comes from God, and He wants to use that to touch other people and to help other people. And I will just tell you, out of all that you can accumulate in life, all the things that you can do, you can build bridges, you can build schools, you can gain lots of fame and reputation and treasures and all of that. But I think that the most valuable reward that you and I are going to receive is people. Is the people that we've been able to invest in, the people that we've been able to help move along their way. I believe that's what our greatest reward in life is. So how can I connect with people? And again, you will hear John Maxwell say this over and over again in this book and in any of his lectures and any of his literature. Always remember, the heart comes first. He says that you have to touch the heart before you ask for the hand. That you have to touch somebody's heart before you ask them to join with you in your project, or you ask them to believe in you, or you ask them to give. So always remember, the heart comes before the hand, and the heart comes before the head. That's a major life lesson, by the way, that we may want something from somebody. We may feel that we have a great purpose, mission, and vision to accomplish, and we need the help of others. And so we want their head and we want their hand. But I'm just telling you, in all relationships, the heart always wins over the head. The heart always wins over the head. What that means is the emotions will win over reason. In almost every situation, when people are sad, when people are broken, when people have a need, when you want to persuade them, convince them, people will almost always follow their emotions before they follow their reason, before they follow their thinking. At least for a season. Eventually, many of us, we turn around, or we follow our emotions for a while, and then finally we come back, we come to our senses. But that's a real life principle, is that listen to somebody, touch their emotions, and then you might be able to touch their head and change their thinking. In this chapter, actually, John Maxwell just gives a lot of examples from people's lives. He tells the stories of, you're going to see Elizabeth Dole, Robert Dole, and different people. And so that's really what most of this chapter is, telling stories about people who have had the ability, whether it's a natural ability or whether they've developed the ability to connect with others. And one of them was Mrs. Elizabeth Dole. And Mrs. Dole, if you're from the United States and if you're from my generation, you know who Elizabeth Dole is, or was. She was a lawyer. She was a cabinet member for Presidents Ronald Reagan and George Bush. That meant that she was like an advisory level for the president. She was also president of the American Red Cross, but she was a marvelous communicator. John Maxwell talks about one time where he was watching on television, he was watching her speak at a huge convention, a huge conference. And he said it was amazing. She connected with the people. She was speaking to a group of hundreds, maybe thousands of people, and yet she was able to connect with their heart. And John Maxwell says, even though he was watching her on TV, she connected with his heart through the TV. The point that he's trying to make is that as we're communicating with people, some way we have to connect with their heart. We have to touch their emotions. We have to bring them in to us. That's huge, bringing them in to us. And then Maxwell goes on to compare her with her husband. Her husband is Robert Dole, was Robert Dole or Bob Dole. He was also a lawyer. He was a United States representative. He was a United States senator, but he also ran for the president in 1996. He ran to be the president of the United States in 1996. He said that Elizabeth Dole spoke at the conference, and then Robert Dole, Bob Dole, spoke at the conference. He said Robert Dole did not connect. He lectured, he shared information, but there was something, he did not connect with the people. He did not grab their heart. He did not grab their emotions. And by the way, he did not win the presidency of the United States in 1996 as well. And so the point is, some people have the natural ability, or if they develop the skills, to touch the emotions of people, to connect with them, to make them feel that they're important, to make them feel that they really care about them. And others don't have that ability. I believe that we can learn it. John Maxwell also says in the book, and also many times in other places, you can't move people to action unless you first move their emotions. Touching the heart comes before touching the head, or touching the hand, touching their intellect or reason, or touching their pocketbook. And so you can't move people to action unless you first move their emotions. So if you're trying to persuade someone, it may be a parent, it may be a child, it may be a business partner, it may be employers, it may be employees, it may be a group of people, someone that you're trying to move their direction, you need to find some way to connect with their heart, for them to know you and feel good about you, and they feel that you really care about them. And so in this book also, John Maxwell doesn't give the normal points, 4 of this, 5 of that he has done in the previous chapters, but he has a lot of good one-liners. And one of those is, connecting with people is not something you just do as a public speaker, because he's talking about Robert Dole and Elizabeth Dole and himself. It's not just something that public speakers do, but you connect with people as individuals who pass through your life. This is really important for me as well, and I think for you. There will be certain people during the course of your lifetime, there will be certain people who pass through your life. from childhood to youth, teenage, young adult, married, old age. There will be people that pass through your life. You will meet them. Some of them will be there for a moment. Some of them will be just very fleeting, very low level. But others will be ones that you connect with. Well, the way that I say it is God brings people into your life. God will bring people into your life. And it's important for us to try to connect with those people. There are some people who, I remember one guy that he's still a friend on Facebook. I still communicate with him. I connected with him just for a short period of life in a season of my life, short period of time, in a season during my life. And we've become long-term friends. We still communicate with one another. We still have a heart relationships because we connected for even just a short time. Pay attention to the people that come into your life at every level, at the lowest level, at the highest level. Pay attention to the people that pass through your life because some of them, it's intended that you connect with them because you will relate to them over a lifetime. When you connect with the heart of people, they will listen. They might even change. And if you're a leader, they might follow you. Connect to the heart, to the emotions of a person. You connect with people when you genuinely want to help them. Okay, so this is a key, should be highlighted. You connect with people when you genuinely want to help them. I'm not talking about helping them financially. You may help them by praying for them. You may help them by giving them a word of encouragement. You may help them by giving them a book or directing them to a video or online resources or providing some other kind of resources. You help them by being a friend to them during a difficult time in their life. There's many ways that we can help people, not just talking about money, but you connect with people when you genuinely want to help them. Maxwell talks about General Norman Schwarzkopf. General Schwarzkopf was a United States Army general, and he led the U.S. or the coalition invasion of Iraq in what we call Operation Desert Storm. And he would speak to soldiers mostly, but he would speak to civilians as well. After he finished his career, he was a public speaker, but he made this statement: when great leaders stand in front of a group of soldiers, for example, or a group of people, you are not looking at the whole group. You are looking at individuals in that group. Men and women who have hopes, dreams, a life, and a family, and men and women who want to do good. This is a key for public speaking, by the way. When you're speaking to a group of people, you're not just speaking to the group. You're speaking to the individuals in that group. And so you're thinking of them as individuals. You prepare your lecture or you prepare your lesson speaking to the individual because you want to connect with the heart. You want to touch the heart of the individual. And so as you go through your daily life, it's not just individuals who are passing by and passing in and out, but you're looking for those that it's intended by destiny for you to connect with. John Maxwell says that he likes to put a 10, a number 10, on every person's head. What that means is that they're the top. They are the most important. When he sees a person, you're a number 10. A number 10 means you have the greatest potential. You're someone that is important to me and someone that I want to connect with. So he visualizes a number 10 on their head to indicate their value. One of the best things that you can do for people is to expect the best out of them. Expect the best out of people. A survey of 100 millionaires showed that they had one thing in common. Every one of them believed in people. Every one of them saw the good and the potential in people. So again, this may be a shift of thinking for some of us. Some of us may think people are bad, and there are some people that are bad, but even bad people have something in them that could possibly be turned and changed. Someone said the greatest good you can share with another person is not just to share your riches, but reveal to them their riches. It's a way of thinking. So what I'm talking to you about is changing a way of thinking. We're looking at people as people who have potential, even bad people, people who hurt us, people who don't seem to have potential on the outside, we know there is jewels, there is gold, there is gems on the inside of them. And we want to become the kind of person that encourages them to start to rise up to that potential. John Maxwell also talked about a man by the name of Herb Kelleher. And Herb Kelleher was the co-founder and CEO of Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is a discount airlines in the United States, one of the first ones. It was very informal, very innovative. It was very different from every other airlines. The people who worked for the airlines, they wore just shirts and short pants and sneakers to work. They were always friendly. They made jokes. They laughed with you. They were so different from every other airline. And by the way, they were the only profitable airline at that time. And so Maxwell gives him as an example of someone who connected with people. Herb Kelleher was someone who connected with people. And on the annual Bosses Day, I believe it was maybe 1995, 1996, I don't remember now, it's in the book, but his employees took out a full-page ad in the newspaper to thank him for being their boss. And this is what they said, some of the things they said. "Thanks, Herb." They called him by his first name, by the way. That's because they felt connected. They felt comfortable enough to him not to have to call him Sir or Mr. Herb or by his last name. They felt comfortable enough because he had connected with him. "Thanks, Herb, for remembering every one of our names. Thanks, Herb, for supporting the Ronald McDonald House." The Ronald McDonald House is like a place where children are able to go to get healing, to get health care. "Thank you, Herb, for helping load baggage onto the airplanes on Thanksgiving Day, which is the busiest day of the year for American Airlines. Thank you, Herb, for leaving your office and coming down and working together with us and helping to load the baggage onto the airplanes. So different from every other CEO. You touched our hearts when you did that, Herb. Thank you, Herb, for giving everyone a kiss." He gave everyone a kiss just to show his love. He connected with them. They knew that he loved them and he cared for them as individuals. "Thank you, Herb, for listening. Thank you, Herb, for running the only profitable airline. Thank you, Herb, for singing at our holiday party and joining in with us as just the common worker. Thank you, Herb, for letting us wear shorts and sneakers to work. Thank you, Herb, for riding your Harley Davidson into the Southwest Airlines headquarters. That's crazy, but you connected with us. Thank you, Herb, for being a friend, not just a boss. Happy Bosses Day from each one of your 16,000 employees." John Maxwell lifts this guy up as a display of affection that occurs only when a leader has connected with his people. When 16,000 employees love you with all of their heart, they will do anything for you. What does that say about the leader? It says that the leader has connected with them. He is connected to their heart and to their emotions. The thinking of an encourager. Remember, one of the most important things that you can do is to build relationships with other people and to connect with them. Don't go through life only by yourself. Go through life trying to connect with others and being an encourager. Also remember, try to connect with people. Touch their heart by showing them how much you care for them as a person. Little things that you can do, a touch, a smile, a look into the eye, a small gift, a word of encouragement. In conclusion, think about this. Do you naturally, by your personality, reach out to people or draw back? If you want to move up, you might need to overcome some of the negative and weak personality traits that you have, like me. Do you naturally, by your personality, look for the good and potential in people, or do you see their negative traits first? We can change the negative and weak parts of our personality that end up driving us away from people instead of us drawing to people. We're talking about relationships. If you want to live by yourself all your life and be a recluse, that's up to you. But if you want to try to learn how to develop relational skills, we may need to change some things in the negative and weak traits of our personality. When you talk to people, do you look into your eyes? Do you smile? You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm looking directly into the camera and I'm consciously smiling because my desire when I teach and when I communicate is try to connect with you. I want you to feel like I'm talking to you. When you talk to people, do you look into their eyes and do you smile? You might need to make some changes. Finally, do you believe that you have something to offer to people and to be a blessing to them? Do you believe in yourself, like in our last lesson? Do you believe there's something in you that can be a blessing and be an encouragement to others? I believe it. Thank you for listening. And again, I hope this has been an encouragement to you. And if it has, please share it with others to be an encouragement to them so you can be an encouragement to them. And be sure and subscribe to the channel if you would. And click the like button and the bell button. Thank you so very much. Go out and be an encourager this week.